The discovery. Back in the early 2000s, I started to get the sense that something wasn't right with my wife. Our two kids were still young, about 4 and 6, but old enough to talk about their day, and they started mentioning how often they were staying with my wife's parents. It wasn't unusual for them to visit, but given that her parents lived about 90 minutes away, it seemed odd that the kids were going there 2 or 3 times a week, especially since it coincided with the days my wife wasn't working at her part-time job. I asked her about it, and she denied it, but she was never a great liar. So I began tracking the mileage on her car, and sure enough, she was driving an extra 400 miles a week. That was a clear red flag. Then, one day, I sat down at the computer, and there it was. A sticky note with her AOL password written on it right next to the keyboard. I couldn't resist. I logged in and, to my horror, found a series of emails between her and her college best friend. In those exchanges, they discussed how my wife had been regularly sleeping with one of her high school ex-boyfriends. There were no details about him, other than my wife making fun of his wife for getting fat after having kids. I printed out the emails and tucked them away, knowing this was just the beginning.